أهلا بيكم حبايبي. النهاردة إن شاء الله هنتعلم how to solve a quadratic function using three different methods. وإن شاء الله هنبدأ بالفactorization. لما يكون عندي أول حاجة ال x squared coefficient is equal to 1، يعني النمبر اللي before x squared is just 1. وهنبدأ ب using factorization. العملية سهلة جدا بس ركز معايا لو سمحت. اول حاجه بنيجي على السي اللي هو الرقم اللي لوحده ده ونشوف الفاكتورز بتاعته. الفاكتورز يعني two numbers multiply will give you positive 3. عندنا طبعا نبدا ب 1 عشان ال 1 سهل، يبقى 1 times 3 which is 3 اهو factors of 3. وبعدين 3 times 1 مفيش حاجه تانية تديني 3. وبعد كده بعمل combine يعني add او subtract. combine يعني بعمل add أو subtract للفاكتورز بتاعتي دي وأشوف الرقم اللي هيطلع في النص 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, that's very simple. So I take either one of them. نكتبها ازاي؟ يعني باخد الفاكتورز دول أحطهم جوه parentheses، يعني هتبقى x plus 1 times x plus 3 أو العكس، مش هتفرق كتير، وأعملهم equal to 0 عشان أجيب الروتس بتاعتي. طبعا السؤال ممكن يجي يقول لك find the roots, find the solutions, find the x-intercepts. كل دول بمعنى واحد ان احنا بنجيب البارابولا crosses x-axis at what point. اوكي، وبعد كده ناخد كل فاكتور من دول equal to 0، يعني x plus 1 equal to 0. ده معناه ان ال x equal negative 1. As you know, you take it to the other side or you subtract 1 from both sides. و x plus 3 equal 0. ده معناه ان الاكس equal negative 3. يبقى الانسرز بتاعتي السيت بتاعت الاكس بتاعتي negative 1 و negative 3 and that's your answer. خلينا ناخد example تاني. Okay, if you get a parabola f of x، وكلنا عارفين ان f of x اللي هي y يعني equals x squared minus 5x minus 14. نروح نجيب الفاكتورز بتاعت negative 14. أول حاجة عندي ابدأ بال1 دايما. 1 times negative 14 تديني 14، ونيجاتيف 1 برضو times 14 تديني نيجاتيف 14، وبرضو عندي 2 times negative 7 تديني نيجاتيف 14، ونيجاتيف 2 times 7 تديني 14. طبعا انت مع البراكتس مش محتاج تعمل الليستة كلها، انت بتدور على نيجاتيف 5 لما تعمل combine للفاكتورز. طبعا لو عملنا combines للتو فاكتورز دول هيديني 1 minus 14 is negative 13، مش عايزها طبعا. ونيجاتيف 1 plus 14 يبقى 13، برضو مش عايزها. 2 minus 7 تديني negative 5. الله، I got the middle part. Let's try this one. It will give you 5 if you combine it. So this one also you don't need. So negative 5 is the correct one. So your factors will become 2 and negative 7. يعني نكتبها ازاي بقى؟ اهوت. طبعا هيبقى equal ل 0. خلاص اتعلمنا الحتة دي. عندك x plus 2 وعندك برضو x minus 7. يعني ايه الروتس بتاعتي؟ هتبقى negative 2 و 7. either you change the sign or make it equal to 0 علشان تجيب الريل zeros بتاعتك. يبقى السيت بتاعت x intercept negative 2 and 7. Okay, let's try another example. I will give you 3 examples. For each kind I will explain. b squared, f of b is equal to b squared minus 4b plus 4. على طول اللي تيجي بالك 1 times 4 will give you 4. عندك negative 1 times negative 4 will give you also 4. And negative 2 times negative 2. Hoppa, here what you got. Negative 2 and negative 2. If you combine them, you get negative 4. So this is what you want. You get x minus 2 times x minus 2 equal to 0. So you get x equal to from here and equal to from there. And that's your answer. Only just one answer. Only one x-intercept. يعني عن 2 the parabola will touch the x-axis at 2. And that's one solution. Okay. Method number two, or the way number two to find the x-intercepts or the roots or the solutions of a parabola. If you don't find the x, you have only x squared and a number, x squared and c. Here is what you need to do. You put the equation equal to 0. So x squared minus 100 is equal to 0. Then you do take the 100 to the other side. Then by taking the square root, as we said over here, so we take the square root of both sides. So your x is going to equal to root 100 is positive negative 10. So your x-intercepts at negative 10 and 10. That's two intercepts. Okay, let's see a different equation. Example B. As you see over here, you get x squared plus 8 is equal to 44. We will solve it like a linear equation, then we take the square root. That means x squared plus 8 is going to equal to 44. All what you need to do is you're going to have to take the 8 to the other side. So you get x squared equals to 44 minus 8, which is 36. If you take the square root of both sides to find the x, so your x is going to equal to positive negative 6. Root 36 is just 6. Or positive negative 6, of course, because if you multiply the factors of positive 6 and 6, it will give you 36. Negative 6 times negative 6 will give you also 36, positive 36. Okay, look at example B. So all you're going to have to do, as we said, you can solve it as a linear equation. First of all, you get rid of negative 3, so you divide both sides, or you just take it to the other side as a division. So your x squared is going to be 9. Take the square root of both sides, so your x is going to equal positive negative 3. Bim. And that's your x-intercepts. Let's take also the third way to find the roots using the quadratic formula. And here is the quadratic formula. X is equal to minus b or negative b plus or minus b root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. The a and the b and the c are the coefficients. There is in the coefficients are in the equation. A is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c the number alone, which is the constant. Okay, let's go and do example A. You got x squared, so a is just 1 because there is no number before the x, so it's just 1. I mean x squared. Your b is the coefficient before x, which is 3, and your c is negative 18. And here is how we use the formula. Just plug in the number and start solving. You got your b is 3, so it's negative b, so you got negative 3 plus or minus, or positive negative, b squared, the b is 3, so you go b squared, which is 9, minus 4 times, your a is just 1, your c is negative 18. Then you continue with the calculation, over 2 times your a is just 1. Okay, so let's simplify the radical here. This is the radical. 9 minus 4 times negative 18. 4 times negative 18, that will be 72. Of course, you have negative, negative, that will become positive. So you get from here, root 9 plus 72, that will give you 81. So your minus 3 plus or minus root 81 over 2 times 1 is just 2. If you need to find the root of 81, that would be 9. So what you get is negative 3 plus or minus 9 over 2. Are you done? Yeah, mostly it looks like this when you get like multiple choice, but sometimes it go with the property of division. So you need to divide the negative 3 by 2 and negative 9 also by 2, or you just can combine them and divide by 2. What I mean by that is negative 3 plus 9 over 2. We take the plus sign first. Negative 3 plus 9 is just 6. 6 divided 2 is 3, so that's your first root. And the other root will become negative 3 minus 9. We took positive 9 before, so we take minus 9 now. Minus 3 minus 9, that's negative 12 over 2, which is going to be negative 6. And these are your roots, 3 and negative 6. That's where the parabola intersect with the x-axis at 3 and negative 6, or negative 6 and 3. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's take another example. As we learned, we need to find the a, which is 1. We need to find the b, which is negative 5. We need to find the c, which is negative 2. And the formula said minus b, positive negative, root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So first of all, negative b or minus b, that will become 5, plus or minus root b squared with 5 squared, with negative 5 squared is positive 25, minus 4 times the a is 1 times the c is negative 2. Very well. Over 2 times a, which is 1. Simply, we need to simplify the radical over here. So if you do 25 plus negative 4 times negative 2, that's 8. 25 plus 8 is 33. So you get 5 plus or minus root 33 over 2. And you're done. But some books will show a different answer, like you do the distributive property of division. You do this first, 5 over 2 plus once root 33 over 2. That's one answer, one solution. And the second solution is 5 over 2, and you take the minus sign next, minus root 33 over 2. Bingo, and you're done with the roots. Let's take another example for the quadratic formula, and that will be the last example for a quadratic formula. Okay, a is 1, b is negative 8. All of you become familiar with it, and so fast. And c is 1. And we'll do minus b, so you get 8, positive negative, root b squared, which is 64, minus 4 times the a is 1 times the c is 1 over 2 times 1. 2 times 1 for the a. Okay, if you simplify the radical 81 minus 4 times 1, that will give you root 77. So you get 8, positive, negative. This is negative 4, 64 minus 4. Eight positive negative root excuse me 1 second, we go with the red, and root 64 minus 4, which is 60 over 2. If you want to know how to simplify radical 60, I have a whole video about simplifying radicals. You can go to it and check it, but I will do it very quickly here. We divide by the prime number. 60 divided 2 is just 30. Divide 2 is 15. Then divide 3 is 5. Divide 5 is 1. So we take 2 out, and this will be inside. So you get 8 plus or minus 2 root 3 times 5, as we said, it's 15 over 2. Then you do the distributive property. So you get 8 over 2 plus 2 root 15 over 2. That's one solution. And the other solution, 8 over 2 minus 2 root 15 over 2. Now you need to simplify. And how we simplify? It's very simple. We do 8 divided 2 is just 4, plus 2 divided 2 is just 1, so you got root 15, and that's your first 0. And over here is the same thing. 8 divided 2 is 4, minus 2 divided 2 is 1, root 15, and that's your two solutions, or two x-intercepts, or the two roots. Okay. In this section, we will learn how to factorize, but when the x squared is not equal to 1, it's more than 1. And this method is a little long, so pay attention, and you will learn it easily if you just repeat it once or twice alone. try to do it yourself. After I do it, try to pause the video and do it again on your own and see if you can do it or not. First thing we need to do is, number one, we will multiply A times C. Then we will take a new equation. Let me give you the example. 5 times 4 is 20. So here is how we write it. We eliminate the 5, so we get x power 2 plus 9x is the same. And 5 times 4 is just 20. And now you need to go like the first example, 3 examples we got. We need to find the factors of 20, and that is going to give us a combination of 9. So we get 1 times 20, 2 times 10, and the perfect one is 4 times 5 because it's 20, and if you combine them, you will get 9. If you combine them, you get 9. That's what we need in the middle over here. Okay, so now we need to write the factors. We get x plus 4, and we get x plus 5. Now we take the absolute value of those two factors and check which one is smaller. We have before the x 5 here. The smaller one will be multiplied 5 to the x. What I mean by that, so you need to multiply. Let me change the color here. I need the blue one. Okay, so we will multiply 5 over here, and we will divide the other factor by 5 as well. So in order to continue finishing this, so we get 5x plus 4, no simplify or anything, times x plus 5 divide 5 is 1. Now we need to set it to 0 to find the roots. We put this equal to 0, so we get 5x plus 4 equals to 0. So 5x is equal to negative 4, so your x is equal to negative 4 over 5. That's your first 0. The second 0 is we set this to equal to 0, so your x is just negative 1, as you know. So you get two solutions or two x-intercepts. One is negative 4 over 5, and the other one is negative 1. Let's do another example, and that will help you more. We will do 2 more examples to make sure you get it correctly. As we said, first we need to take the coefficient A times the coefficient C, and we will get negative 40. 2 times negative 20 is negative 40, so we get x squared minus 3x. We don't change the middle one, minus 40. Now we go for the coefficients that to be multiplied by 40, to be multiplied to give us 40, negative 40 I mean, and the combination is negative 3. And if you do the factors, because if you do it many times, you will get the hang of it, and try to 5 times to do it as fast as possible. 5 times negative 3 is negative 40, and if you combine them, you get negative 3, which is in the middle. So now we need to write the factors again. So we get x plus 5 and x minus 8. As we said, we need to divide by 2 and multiply by 2. The smallest will be times 2. Of course, we will ignore the negative sign. As I said, we take the absolute value, so it's 5 and 8. The 5 is smaller than the 8, so we multiply the factor by 2 over here. Then we divide by 2, which is the coefficient A, over here. Now we set it equals to 0, so 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. And x minus here, A divided 2 is just 4, and put it to equal to 0. So your x from here is negative 5 over 2. And your x from here is just 4. So your roots are negative 5 over 2 and 4. Let's take the last example and see if you can do it. You can pause the video and try to do this on your own and see if you can do it or not. But anyways, let's do it. First of all, we multiply the A times the C, so we get 12, and we rewrite the equation, so x squared plus 8x, we don't change the one in the middle, plus 12. And now we need to find, if you see positive, positive, so you need all your factors to become positive. And if you do 2 times, 1 times 12 is not going to give you 8, 2 times 6 is going to give you 12, and if you combine them, you get 8. That's excellent. So you get 2, and 6, because if you multiply them, you get 12. If you combine them, you get 8, and that's the middle, as you know. Let's change some colors here. Okay, so your factors become, you get x plus 2, and you get x plus 6. And as we said, the small factor, this is the small one, so or the small factor over here multiplied by 4. And this is the greater factor, so you divide by 4. Now you get 4x plus 2 is equal to 0. And from this side, you get x plus 6 over 4, which is 3 over 2, equal to 0 as well. So from here, if you solve the linear equation, you get x equal negative 2 over 4, which is negative half. And if you solve this one, you get x equal negative 3 over 2. So your two solutions, negative half and negative 3 over 2. And that's the roots. Some people will try to factorize and they can't, use quadratic formula and they can't, because the equation is prime. And the prime, what I mean by that is you will get imaginary solution, or it means there is no solution, no roots, and no x-intercepts. That means the parabola will never intersect the x-axis. If it looks like this, it will never crosses the x-axis, so there is no roots. Let me give you the last example of a prime function. If you get x squared, for example, or y equal, or f of x equal x squared plus x plus 1, and you try to factorize 1 times 1 only, and if you combine it, it will never give you 1. So that will give you imaginary solution. Let's try to do it by the quadratic formula. Your a is 1, your b is 1, your c is just 1. And minus b, so you get negative 1, positive or negative, b squared, which is 1, minus 4 times 1 times 1, the c time, over 2 times 1. So you get negative 1, positive, negative 1 minus 4 is negative 3, so you get negative 3 over 2. And you cannot find a negative root, or you can find an imaginary solution with it. And sometimes we write it like this, negative half plus root 3 over 2i, and negative, because we take the negative and replace I with instead of it, and negative half plus, minus, 1 second, so this is a minus root 3 over 2i, and that's your two imaginary solution. In such case, we say no real solution, or no roots, or no x-intercepts. I hope you find this video helpful to you. Inshallah, we will do some more videos to help you out with your solving equations. Thank you.